Hello, everyone. Good morning, chat, YouTube, and Twitch. Thank you for your patience. We're just getting everything together over here. How's it going? I am here with Mend today. Special guest from Moonsailor. Our amazing technical sound designer, project manager on the audio side, and all kinds of stuff. So, yeah. How's it going, man?
Hello, everyone. It's been a while. I think last time was with Lorena, right? Actually, it hasn't been that long ago.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was like towards Christmas or something. You and I were on. That was a fun stream. We talked a lot about, Lorena.
Yes. Yeah, so I'm back here. We're gonna talk more about Slade and the 2026 audio roadmap. We actually wanted to do this stream for a while now, but something's happened. Workshop came out. We focused more on workshop streams for a while, and
yeah, we just went to Genesis and canceled one. Slade was coming out at that point. Yeah, exactly.
It made more sense.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to start? Let me start just introducing me again really quickly and the audio thing for everyone. We do that every stream, but might have new people. So I'm Man. Like George said, I'm a technical sound designer in the project. I work full-time with Rivals 2. But I'm also part of Moonsailor. Moonsailor and Resoforce, they're both sister studios that do audio for Rivals of Ether 2. Moonsailor doing the new music and sound effects, VO, everything else of audio, and Resoforce taking care of the remixes of musics from Rivals 1, and also some of the new music for characters that did not exist in Rivals 1. And yeah, it's a work of a lot of people. I'm the one you guys see the most in community, but there's a lot of people involved, and I always like to do this little note here before we start. Also, George, there's someone saying that we should turn down the background music.
Oh, I will do that.
But yeah, it's a little bit loud. This is a tiny bit.
We're not gonna want background music for this anyway, because we have sound effects. How's that, everyone? Let me know if it's better. Actually, I just turned it off, so let me know if you still hear it. You should hear it.
This is a tiny bit.
We're not gonna want background music.
Okay, it's turned off. I just checked the string. Okay, let's go. Let's start with the main topics of today's stream.
Awesome. Yeah.
The first one, actually, which is a new one. Let's break down Slade's audio. Slade was just revealed in Genesis X3. Was Sunday, right?
Yeah.
On
So
Sunday.
just a few days ago.
And before we start, I'm sure most of you have watched the trailer, but let's rewatch again, and then everyone can get up to speed, and then we talk a little bit about some cool things about his VO, his sound effects, and audio in general.
Yeah. All right. I'll flip that on.
Nothing better than a clear sky and smooth sailing. Hasn't always been that way, though. I was born and raised on the Polakai Islands, which received the blessing of the tree tears. But one day, the tear of joy vanished, so I shipped out to bring the scallywag home. Got a mite sidetracked in Julesville, but found a few good mates for me trouble, and more than a little treasure. Me search then led to Godai Delta, but she'd be surrounded by a storm. Even I am not crazy enough to sail through. But now, I'll set anchor in Merchant Port. And while I'm there, plunder a bit of loot to tide me over. Thanks. Oops. life for me. Another one walks the plank.
It's beautiful. Now let me see if I can switch to the next slide. There we go. It's not full screen anymore, though.
One slide too much.
YouTube broke the slideshow. I fixed it. Anyway, yeah. This is trailers are always so fun to do. And this was really fun to show at Genesis. Yeah. In general.
Yeah, it was a lot of work getting this one done, because fun fact, let's start talking about Slade audio. Slade has 3 times more sound effects than the second character that has the most sound effects.
Wait, let's have chat guess. Who has the most sound effects besides Slade? Give him like a few seconds.
Yep.
Who do you guys think? See Olympia, Absa, Maple. All right, no, it's like no consensus.
Okay.
It's all different characters they're saying. All right, so who is it?
It's Absa.
Okay.
Absa is the second character with the most sounds.
Absa guessers.
So far.
Good job.
Yeah, but Slade has 3 times more sound effects than Absa. If we're including everything, like his basic swipes, his hits, everything, his items as well, like when we include everything, he has 3 times more sound effects. So it was a lot of work for this trailer, and we wanted to break down a little bit everything, because there's a lot of cool things to talk about.
Yeah.
First, his VO. If you can go to the next slide, please. Jericho Corey is doing Slade in Rivals of Ether 2. His VO was a fun one because we needed someone who could get in his cool image, like, because Slade was supposed to be a cool shark. That was the main thing that we wanted to have with him. And at first we were thinking about maybe going to a Jamaican accent for the character. And then we looked everywhere. Like, we're like, let's try to find a Jamaican voice actor that can do this one. We unfortunately couldn't find someone that was actually Jamaican. And we run into an issue that we wanted to avoid. That a lot of fake impressions of Jamaican accents, they kind of sound too stereotypical. And that was not what we were looking for. There places we know, like, that those accents, they tend to sound more stereotypical because some people are looking for that. We all know the Hollywood Indian stereotypical accent that pops in everywhere. But this was definitely not what we were going for Slade. Like, we wanted someone who felt like they have the accent because they live in that place, you know, like the more natural sort of accent. And we ended up going to a more general Caribbean accent that felt more genuine to us. We have some developers in the team that have family from the Caribbean, so we're like, let's go with something that is more subdued. And I think this is pretty cool for Slade. Like, I think it turned out pretty cool because like, the actor not having to force too much to get into a very specific type of accent helped him have a lot more freedom during the session. And I think you can hear that in how much fun Slade seems to be having. So that's one of the VOs that we're most proud of. Like, Slade is super fun to listen to while we're playing with him. He's very verbose. We're gonna have to make sure he's not talking too much in the final version. We're planning some rules for his VO, so it's not like a lot of words consuming each other in a row.
Yeah, he's got a lot of one-liners, like Fleet or Laredo also talks a lot. Yeah. So yeah, he's definitely on the higher end.
And someone asked, before we go into the next slide, someone asked something really interesting. Someone asked us about, well, before Slade was revealed, I revealed a little bit of information. Like I was interacting with the community in the Ethercord, and Trevor was with me in the voice chat, and someone asked me, "Can you say something about the next character, like anything that you can reveal?" And then I asked Trevor, "Should we do something about this?" And he said, "Sure, let's go." And I said that the next character would have sounds in his kit that tune in to the key of the music that is playing. And it was a lot of speculations. People
Fleet 2.
brought up a lot of characters, especially because Fleet has
Yes.
this already. But
I can't believe
very
Fleet
few
2 is already
people-
coming out. That's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of people they thought about other characters. They remembered that Fleet had this, but they didn't find out that it's Slade. So let's go into the next slide to talk about how Slade sounds were conceptualized and why he has this, where he has this. We're gonna show everything.
Nice.
Here.
Before we go, one sec. I just want to ask chat to appreciate our new logo updated with the Slade element here on the bottom left. We've been doing this every time. I don't think we normally call it out, but our logo is just ridiculous looking now because it has a steel chair and a bomb in it. So, yeah.
The elements of ether: drill, storm, chair, and bomb.
Yeah.
Treasure chest.
Chair is still the best one.
True, the best element.
Yeah. Anyway, here. Well, sorry to interrupt you. We'll hop into this because yeah, these are some really cool notes about Slade.
I was looking at the YouTube. Sorry. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about behind the scenes and the process that we use before doing sound design. We didn't really have a lot of chances of showing more things with Lorena because she was pretty early on in the audio development when we had the last string, but a lot of people asked us about this process. Every time when interacting some servers, people have questions about this. So we decided to show parts of the process. We're not going to spend too long on that part of the string because we have other things that we want to talk about. But let's go over the first part. So this is Slade's audio sheet. We did a meeting, like the first step in Slade's audio development was making a meeting with everyone. Then Trevor, every animator that worked on Slade, and myself. And we talked about all his moves. We were breaking down. We were talking about ideas of how he could sound. And after this meeting was over, we always produce a documentation that is basically like, this is what this character is supposed to sound like. Like we have a couple of key sounds that we talk about. And this is Slade's. Usually we can't really show this documentation because there's a couple of things that we don't want to go public. Maybe things about the characters that they're based on, or maybe other things like just commentary that we don't want public, basically. But Slade is a pretty safe one, actually, in that regard. Everything about him aged pretty well as well. Like sometimes this initial document does not turn out to be the thing that is done in the end.
Right.
But Slade had a very good process. So here we had like some key points about Slade's personality. And one of the points is the answer as to why he has the musical sounds in his kit, which is in the second key point. He uses a water gem for his water attacks, which is similar to how Fleet uses a wind gem for her wind attacks. So Slade does not have inherent elemental powers as part of the cast. So like this is part of Slade's lore. And we wanted to have a sonic signature for when characters do not have the inherent elemental power and they're drawing that power from gems. There are more things coming in the future where this is going to be relevant, but I'll not spoil here. You're going to have to wait and see.
It's such a cool creative concept, though. Yeah, that there's this this specific sound that the gems,
so
that kind of magic.
Every time. So every time it's a gem, they're gonna have sort of musical tonal sounds. Like the sounds are musical in nature, together with the sounds of the element in question. Fleet has that. Like, if you play Fleet, you're gonna see she has a lot of musical sounds. And we even turned on again the sys and the tunes in her sounds, because this was turned off for the longest time because of a bug. And Slade coming back made us realize, hey, this was turned off. This was not supposed to be turned off. And I think it's sounding way cooler like this. And Slade's gonna do the same thing. So yeah, we made this audio document. We start recording. I start making a lot of things in pre-production, recording sounds that might be used in his sound palette, making tools that might help me get to his sounds faster. And then comes the moment of rushing all hands on deck, which is like, audio is the last part. So that means that usually things come to me and it's like, we have a trailer and we need to finish audio very quickly, relatively. So this is the moment where all this pre-production needs to come in place and be like, okay, we need to do it. So yeah, and let me show you guys some of those sounds in practice. George, can you share my screen?
Yes. 1 second. All right. How's that, chat? I think we're showing.
Let's check if they can hear my screen as well. Oh, it's not playing for me as well.
I cannot hear. Okay. You can't hear either. Nobody could hear.
I was in a part that didn't have sound.
Okay. There we go.
You can hear. Chat, could you hear this?
They could hear.
Okay.
Beautiful.
So, first move that I want to showcase, it's Slade forward special. Something really weird is happening in this video with a Slade head detached. Please do not perceive. We were forced to use an older video for this, so do not perceive, but totally meme it.
We'll just caveat that today all of this stuff is development, right? The character's not coming out for another month and a half, so bear with our visuals or other things like that.
So first, I'm gonna play the forward version of F Special. And yes, you wanted gameplay today. We're gonna have a little bit of gameplay. So F Special, the first one is always forward, but then you can choose the direction of the subsequent moves, and depending on the direction you move, you get different versions of the move. So this is forward, and this is how it sounds with the complete sounds. And then we have down. I think down is, let me see where this is. Down is here. You saw this one in the trailer. It was there. Then we have back. Musical. Back has a parry in his third part. So that's pretty cool as well. And then lastly, but not least, we have up, which is pretty similar to forward, but it has a bigger reach in the last one. So that's how Slade sounds with everything together. One thing that I wanted to show, though, is I wanted to show only his tonal sounds. So only the part that is signifying the gems in his moves. The parry is always the same. We're going to just turn it on so we have everything. And that's only the part that has the gem sound. So it's going below the rest. Then we have this one for down. And this sound here, it tunes to the key of the music, like I said before. So this will always be... It's never gonna clash, basically. It's very musical, but we wanted to make sure it's not clashing. We're even going a step further with Slade, because with Fleet, we were kind of locked with how much we could pitch the sound up or down. And sometimes it's not exactly the key of the song. We had to have some limitations in place. Otherwise, it would gonna be crazy. But for Slade, we're actually expanding the system, so the chords themselves change, so the sounds change even more. So I actually have an example of that when I'm showing the next move. George, can you take out my screen really quickly? I go into the other project where the other moves are.
All right. You're off.
And then I can exemplify. So his victory animation, for example, I'm gonna be a little bit technical here. Please don't get out of the string. I promise I'm not gonna be too technical. But his victory sound music, I cannot show yet. It's still work in progress, but it's in F minor. His sounds are in a pentatonic of C major for your musicians out there. They would clash a lot. So I had some possibilities of like pitching up or down, but for making it like really, really the most elegant that we can be, the thing we chose to do was actually change the chord to be like the pentatonic of C minor, that is completely within the F minor scale. So we're even taking a step further than Fleet for Slade. And there's actually a reason for this. Like you might think, oh, that's too much work. No one gonna notice, right? Let me tell you an anecdote. On Ethercord, the day we released the Fleet thing, like we turned it on again, the bug fix. Someone in the Ethercord spent like a good amount of time looking at the key of a lot of songs in the soundtrack of Rivals 2.
OST, yeah.
And they were like looking at how the tuning of Fleet interacting with those songs, and they were like, "Oh, so this song is in this key, and then put this other key in the sound effects." And I understand because they didn't want to transpose too much. And I was like, "Yep, that person deserves this level of care." Like everyone else might not even feel like there's too much difference, but I know some people will appreciate.
Someone noticed it. Yeah.
Okay. I'm good to go.
New project
George,
open. All right, here we go.
Yep.
They can see again.
Yeah, so we have his victory, for example, with the custom tuning for this one, and also his victory sound is here as well. Like it's very different in vibe than the others, but this fits perfectly with the wind jingle that we're making. And that's not the only sounds that has tonal elements for Slade, and there is one in particular that I really wanted to showcase here. That is his down special. Once again, old build. If anything is different from the current version, remember it's a work in progress. But this is the sound for down special isolated. And this is also something that was in the audio pillars, that he has some non-diegetic sound effects in his chest. So basically he has a UI, he has something, a HUD or UI. I mean, they're basically the same thing in the game.
Right.
And it's the first time one of our characters has anything like this. And that's something that we wanted to really nail down because it should set a good precedent. So if characters in the future have this again, we want to have a good precedent and something to build upon instead of being like, oh, we've fucked up Slade and now we have to do something completely different for the next character. So this is how his chest sounds in general. I'm just gonna mute one little sound here real quick. This is some of the sounds of his chest. I also wanted to showcase the Phoenix Feather, because the way I made the Phoenix Feather is kind of related to the chest a little bit.
Yeah, you hear the coins and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is definitely why he has, one of the reasons why he has so many sounds, right? because he's got a whole
Yes.
shop in his character.
Yes, and also there's something really cool about the chest that I kind of wanted to showcase here. Is that I treated the chest as a different character, as a character on its own. So like, there's Slade, and there's also the chest. So the chest for us was like a different character in terms of making his sound. So for example, the chest has whale sounds everywhere. The sounds are like really everywhere. So you're spawning the chest, you have a whale sound there. Let me find a whale sound.
Wait, I didn't even know this. I'm getting new information.
This is whale. It's there.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
subtle, but it's
yeah.
there. Then we have his dungeon sound that like this is the beginning of the battle sound. Here it's slightly different, like it's a slight different flavor to modernize it, but it's a sound for from dungeons. You can kind of hear it when it's isolated like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have like this musical flavor on top of the chest. And that's together with the physical layers of the sound. They're like this. Oh, oops, no musical. So we have both things together and they sound like this. But the same thing happens with the HUD from Slade. So if we go into open, we have two whales here in the opening of the menu. Those are very soft. Let me raise the volume a little bit so you can actually hear on the stream. So like those are whales. It's very fast, but you can kind of see it. Like you can kind of hear it in context. The hover doesn't have whales. I think it's the only sound that doesn't have whales. And then if you buy an item, you have like another whale here. When it's
That
closing.
one's quiet too, but
it's very quiet. Yes,
I heard it. I did.
And the cancel is the whale that you can mostly hear in the game, which is this one. When it's closing. So we have a lot of whales. But that's not all the whales, and that's a sound that I wasn't showing before. There is a loop only when you have the shop open. So this won't play a lot in actual gameplay. Be aware of that. But if you're looking at the descriptions of items in training mode, or if the chest shop gets open for a little bit of longer time, you're gonna hear the chest, and it sounds like this. So yeah, you can hear the whales in the chest if you are looking for them.
A lore stream on the chest, because the chest is full of magical items, but the chest is also magical. It's beautiful.
Well, we never know what's in the chest. There can be any type of things there. So yes, so that's Slade sounds. A little bit of breakdown. We're gonna move into the next subject now. You can take off my screen.
Got it.
Ready? And we can move on with the slides as well.
I just want to point out to everyone that, so when you're thinking about game audio, just look at all that layering we saw there, right? For just an action that's on your screen for less than a second. So yeah, there's a lot of thought and all of this design that goes into it, and it's hard to appreciate it until you see it like this. So it's just really cool to see it open in your project with all the different pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I have one thing that were in my notes that I didn't say, and I have to say it because it's great. Two things actually. Dan is innocent. The fish of clock line was me this time. And the second thing is, you know the whale singing in the chess loop that I just showed? It's auto-tuned whales. So just get that in your minds.
That's amazing.
I always wanted to say that. I auto-tune a whale.
Perfect. All right, I flipped it to the tonal move slide.
Oh yeah, we can keep going. Those were we already shown that.
Oh, do I
Okay.
need to refresh it? It goes.
No, it's the audio roadmap.
Okay.
It's fine. Okay, so enough Slade. I know everyone is excited. I hope this was enjoyable. I know there was one more spoiler in the chess section of something that you guys didn't know yet. So I know it's very little gameplay. I know you were excited to hear about his design and everything, but I hope those little spoilers can get you a little bit further before we actually have a design stream with
Yes,
Slade.
we will do one where we show off everything his moves do, including the mysterious wing and other things like that. So don't worry.
Mm-hmm. But let's go into the main topic of today's streams. It's probably gonna take less time than Slade took. Actually, do you think we can do like 5 minutes of questions about Slade?
Yeah,
I think
that's a great idea.
We have time. Did you get any questions from before? I don't have Twitch open. Let me
look up. We'll call for some new questions now. We had a few, but there was not much. Someone asked, "Are all the items consumables?" Can you rebuy?
I think so, right?
When you get used. I'm trying to think because he has a couple moves that deal items, but everything in the chest, I think we're not ready to talk about everything in the chest yet. So
yeah. I think the neutral special ones, I'm pretty sure you can rebuy them. Like this was even shown in the trailer with the shurikens. Actually, you don't buy the shuriken. Shuriken is the free one, but you can definitely rebuy from neutral special for sure.
Yeah, today we're keeping it audio related, everyone. I'm sorry.
Yes,
okay, here's some audio questions.
You're gonna waste questions on me if you're trying to get gameplay for Slade.
We still have a little while till he comes out, so yeah. Let me see. Someone just said, "What are his voice lines?" Which is very. It's kind of, there's too much for us to like list here.
It's fish o'clock.
Yeah. I was gonna say, what are some of your favorite ones though? And that's definitely one. I assume.
Actually, I love Force Special. We didn't want to do Force Special, have voice lines because like what the fuck, it's too fast. You can cancel Force Special like a lot.
Right.
So we were really afraid of having voice lines in Force Special, but it sounded amazing. I'm not gonna spoil this one for now, but also because I don't have the game open to showcase. But it's really great. It's definitely my favorite. Like it just turned out amazing, and I'm very surprised how good those turned out in the end. We have a lot of voice lines for Forward Special. It's also, I think it's the move in the game that has the most voice lines and the most SFX. Like it has 18 custom SFX just for Forward Special. Like every single possible combination of slash has one physical sound, one tonal sound, and a bunch of possible voice lines. It's crazy.
Yeah, I just flipped back to the audio sheet because that's one of his key points that he's having fun when he's fighting, and he's very talkative, very flamboyant about it. So yeah, he definitely has a lot of snappy.
Mm-hmm. Someone is asking what was the hardest sound effect to get just right. I will imagine that this is for Slade. The chest. Definitely the chest. The chest throwing items. The thing you see when Slade in the trailer puts the fish in the chest and then throw the fish. That one was very hard to get right because it always sounded like a gunshot, which kind of fits with Slade because he's a pirate.
Mm-hmm.
But like the strength of this move is not like inherent strong or weak. It depends on a lot of conditions in the game. So we didn't want it to be like, oh my god, it's a gunshot, it's a cannonball, you know. So that one was hard to get right to still feel like the chest was opening because basically the sounds that would feel like opening a chest with everything in context were sounding like cannons, and even though there were not anything near cannons. But that's part of the magic of sound design. Like when the chest eats the item, we have a sound that is an apple bite in the sound. Literally, an apple bite. So the chest is eating the item. I mean, the chest is a character. He has to eat. He
Yeah.
eats items. Uh, so so yeah, like it's great that I can use an apple for the eating sound, and it makes sense, like for the item getting in the chest. But then it's also sad when I use normal door and chest sounds for the throwing out, and it sounds like a gun. It's kind of crazy.
Someone asked actually if so you developed the sounds for Slade's forward slashes. Did that influence how you did the sounds for Claren's new samurai slash sounds?
We're gonna talk about this. Hold this question, and we're gonna talk about this.
Nice.
I will answer one more question, and then we go to YouTube. Like I will
That sounds
answer
good.
this question later.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's why we're holding out. Soulbird guy asked, any specific inspiration you look to for Slade? When I think chest opening, I think Hearthstone law. The inspiration for Slade was actually really interesting. I looked at a lot of loot box sounds for the chest opening, because those tend to be very engaging designs. So a lot of games they have loot boxes, and loot boxes not only in the sense of like microtransaction loot boxes, but like just chests that open. And I wanted kind of to feel like when you slam the chest on the floor, I wanted it to feel like a normal game chest, like you have a reward, like you're opening your chest reward. And that was the main inspiration. Like there's no specific game that I can pinpoint to, but mostly more the idea of the chest being a reward, basically. And I think there's a last question that is not really late, but we can like just do really quick. Someone is asking, were the two songs in the trailer made just for the trailer? And the answer is, for now, yes. Unless he gets a stage skin in the future. I cannot confirm or deny if he's gonna get one. But all the times we got the sounds in the game were because of stage skin, and usually this trailer music is made for the trailer, and we made a new version for gameplay that is more extended, it's loopable, it's suitable for the game. Sometimes they turn out pretty similar, like Lorena and Galvan, but it's not always the case. So you can see older trailers, they have like a lot of minute differences. And yes, we heard you. You want to hear the Loxodon trailer team. One of the main reasons why it's not in the game is because there's no gameplay version of that. Like that one was made only for the trailer, and
Right.
so far that has been the case. But we hear you. You want a Loxodon trailer? We're gonna give it to you eventually. We just don't know the form of that yet. Like if we're gonna release trailer teams in the future as an album, if maybe we're gonna introduce them in gameplay in some form. We don't know how yet. I'm not gonna promise anything here. Like I'm not gonna give a time frame, but we're gonna release the Loxodon trailer from jail. Tune.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. Highly requested. All right, let's get into. Someone asked, will we have a chance for other non-Slade audio questions? And yes, I think after we talk about some of this general audio roadmap stuff, we can go back to that. So, yeah.
Yes, we're going to have questions in the end. So let's dive into audio roadmap, and then we can, we have some time for questions in the end about general. So, once again, let's go into what would have been the main topic of this stream if we had done this one before Slade.
If there was no Slade,
which is an audio roadmap. So, really quickly, let me tell a little bit of the story of how audio development went for Rivals of Ether 2 in the last 3 years-ish of development. So, 2 years ago, the game was not released yet. And Moonsailor and Rise of Force were working on the audio, but we didn't have anyone full-time in the game necessarily. Like we would come here, make new characters, make new sound requests that were needed. I was working only on the tech side of audio, even though I was in the project already. I've been in the projects ever since the announcement trailer. Uh, like the announcement trailer was the first thing that I worked on in the project.
Ooh, wait. Which announcement trailer?
The first one, the very first one in the
Like
direct.
2020. Okay.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, that's a
No,
long time.
I think it's an announcement that actually had the game, like not the one that showed the 3D, like the early
teaser.
model.
Okay, I see.
So yeah, Craig wasn't announced at that point. Like Craig was the first character that I was working.
Got Mandalore.
So yeah, and we had other sound designers working on characters. A lot of people from Moonsailor. Some had to go over time, but we had like in total we had 9 sound designers making stuff for the game so far. So the beginning was only tech audio, and then we released the game. I became full time for Rivals of Ether 2 on release, and we were still making the characters, we were still making cosmetics, still making everything. And the first year, like last year, was okay. We have a live service game. We need to get used to this update cycle, to everything that is happening. And now we got used to that. We saw things that we could get better in our process to make sure the patches go smoothly. Audio wise, like to make sure we're not missing things, to make sure everything's giving the proper attention that we need to. And we wanted to change things for 2026. Like we wanted to, okay, this is a year where we take what we have and we improve upon it, like where we do more things that we've been doing. So that's what we wanted to discuss with you all. I talked a lot with community at the end of last year. We talked a lot internally to make a roadmap of things to do. Thank you, everyone, to discuss things in community. We had a Reddit post that someone made organically that became a very good place for discussions. We have a lot of people talking things on Note, talked on main servers, on Ethercord. You all have been amazing. It makes me really want to do those things, to do those improvements, to interact with the community because you are amazing. So thank you so much for the kind words you gave, for the feedback, for everything. And so let's go. Let me break down everything that we're doing. You can do the next slide.
Let's do it. Skins.
The benefits that we have of making this dev string relatively late is that we actually already have some things that are done already at this point. So like we're not only talking about future things, we're talking about things that have been done. And the first is, you can go next slide.
Yeah.
First thing is Cosmetic SFX. They were a point where we were not happy last year. And I think a lot of people also were not happy with the way we were tackling skin sounds. One of the things that were happening a lot is that skin sounds were sometimes made with not enough time to give them the proper care that they needed. And then at some point, you guys remember, we had situations where we have to take off skin sounds that were there. The last example, and I think the biggest one that ever happened, was the low poly sound filter that we added. So we added a sound filter that bit crushed the low poly skin sound effects. And that showed, like, that one was the main thing that showed the flaw in the way we were doing things for skins, for cosmetics in general. We had to turn it off. Like, some people loved it, some people hated it. It was very divisive at the time. But the main reason why we had to take it off was because it was hurting the competitive integrity of the game.
Right.
Like, we felt like too many feedbacks that were important for players were getting muffled. Like, it's okay, sometimes we can change sounds, they can sound different. Like, Primal Maple had her voice, the voice of her plants changed, and like that's fine, like it's completely changed, but that's okay. But we don't want to completely muffle an auto feedback like that effect was doing. And that was kind of a red flag. And we decided to change how we approach things. We starting this year, we have other sound designers. Like we have sound designers that are tackling specifically cosmetic sound effects. So I was doing those last year, and now like I'm more focused on characters, on future content, and maintenance of the game. And this year, we want to we went with other sound designers to do the cosmetics. That means that they have more time to focus only on those cosmetic sounds, and this is something that makes a lot of difference. And we are making extra sure that we keep the competitive integrity. And I said there that we don't want to rely on toggles. This is not me saying that a toggle for skin sounds is never coming. That is not something that will come ever. But we want to make sure we can do that. Like, we don't want to have a band aid solution for that because we want to make sure that tournaments can be run without a toggle. So that's something important. Like, we don't want skin sounds toggled off in tournaments to become like the meta, quote unquote.
It's
so
definitely
that's really important.
the design pillar of the game. So it's just, the toggle is something that could work, but we want the game by default to be, competitive without having to flip into settings or change things. You have to keep something in mind. Yeah.
And of course, like there will be situations where like someone really, really dislikes something, even though it's not problematic for the balance of the game, and they might want to toggle it off. But our feelings is that like if we are feeling the need to toggle off skin sounds because they're feeling that this is giving you a disadvantage or an advantage, this is on us. Like we screwed something up if that's happening, and we want to avoid that. But there's also a benefit of having let's not only focus on the bad things, let's also talk about the positives. Having dedicated sound designers making cosmetics also means we can give more bang for the buck for epic skins. Our current goal is to really give a lot of custom sounds for epic skins when they make sense. Like, we're not gonna just give custom sounds for the sake of giving custom sounds, but if they make sense, we can add them. And also, we want to find good opportunities to give those epic skins character without changing too much of the main gameplay. And so I'm not going to go too much into technical details about how we're approaching this, because we have an example video, because they're in game already. That's, like I said, that's a good thing of talking about things that are already happening. So I have a video showcasing Lucha Atlas versus Default Atlas, and then Samurai Clearing versus Default Clearing. And you can see like how some of those pillars are. Like, we want to really make sure the sounds still feel like the character, but having a little bit of character.
Yeah.
So you can show the video.
Let me play this. Here we go.
Amateur. I will change my destiny. Amateur. I've reached the past.
also a little spoiler coming here of something for next patch.
Victory was 100% guaranteed.
Yes, I love that the song's going in the game.
So yeah, Apsa installed a new upgrade on Mac Apsa after listening to the sound. She's stoked to see it.
I still miss that title screen, to be honest, or the video that plays before.
True. Yeah, that was one of the best ones.
Such an epic opening.
Just opening to an anime opening in the game was great.
Yeah.
So go.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna just say. So yeah, you guys have seen, as Ben mentioned, a lot of times in the patch notes nowadays for the when we release the awesome trailers, we'll kind of have a whole small paragraph now about, hey, here's all the different sounds that are coming in, because yeah, there's a lot of really cool skin specific sounds that add a lot to these.
Yeah, and as you can see, like it's really easy to explain what is happening now that you have seen. When a move, like for the normal moves of the characters, we want the frequency spectrum, envelope, and response. Like we basically want the shape of the sound to remain mostly the same as much as possible. So like we're gonna really hammer that down. It's kind of funny because one of the best examples we have of this is actually an older skin, which is Pirate Maple. And Dan said sometimes, "Oh, I didn't even notice that many sounds were different." And I was like, "Great, amazing. That is a good start." Because they sound so similar to the new ones. It's like just a little flavor on top. Sometimes we do need to redo the whole sounds, like with Atlas having metal sounds instead of ice. But like the shape, the duration, everything is the same. We even edited Arcane, like the Demigod Arcane's VO to comply to this. So like now the duration of the sound is exactly like of his VO is exactly the same of the normal one. So like we have an aggressive fade out once the sound goes longer than the normal one. So like there is a little bit of a tail, but not as much as it was beforehand. But we have opportunities to give characters more characterful moments. So like the mech up's a taunt is a taunt, like it's not something they're gonna distract. The intro, the down special for clearing, the taunts are always places where we can go like in and be like, hey, here we can have more character to this skin. And we're gonna try to find more of these moments without being something that is distracting for the gameplay itself.
Yeah, things like those drums and the instrumental, like on the Samurai Clarion, are really cool and noticeable. Yeah, place to add stuff.
So yeah, I hope you all like this new approach that we're dealing with. And speaking specifically for people that got sad that we have to remove some things like the low poly SFX, they will come back eventually, but they need more time in the oven. We really want to nail down this approach so we can make sure we never have to remove skin sounds again. Because we know it's kind of sad when you really liked something and then you see it removed. Like we know it's not a good feeling. So
yeah.
You're gonna strive to never have to do that again in the future. Let's go for next topic.
Let's do it.
Okay, so the second part of the roadmap that I wanted to talk about is about general improvements that we want to do in the game. We want this year to be the year where we push just that last 10%, that last 15%. Like right now, let's say we have a target of where we want Rival Seal sound to be, and that's 100%. Like we feel like at this point we're like at 75 maybe percent of that. Like we think we're in a really good spot. Like I said, I talked a lot with the community as well last year, and a lot of people said very kind things, and I think a lot of you would agree with that. But we can improve it further. Like we can make sure we get like 5-10% more of our goal. We never reach 100%. That's we're never gonna be 100% satisfied with anything. So those last 10% are the pursuit of forever, basically, in game development. But we want to have like to go a little further with what we have, and that's what I wanted to share here. This part will be more open-ended. Like I'm not gonna have too many specific promises of what is coming because this is too much in movement right now. So like some things that I think I will be doing might fall down. We might test some stuff and they might never come. We're taking our time to test everything that we're doing in this like audio improvement thing because those are not time sensitive things. Like those are things that are gonna improve what already exists. So it's not like Slade sounds like they need to be there that day because Slade is gonna release.
Right.
No,
Right.
if we take one more patch to make sure that this is perfectly fine, it's great. So you can go for the next slide. So let's talk a little bit about some key points about where we want to improve and how we want to improve. We think there's a little bit of muddiness in our mix sometimes. It's pretty good in general. We're pretty happy with the general place we have the mix of the game. But we think there can be some more clarity. We can tackle some annoying bugs that happen in online gameplay sometimes. I'm talking about you, looping sounds issue. We're hard at work to find that one. It's a really hard one to track.
It's tough
Like
with
we've been trying to
rollback and
track.
everything.
Yeah, that one is a nightmare. It is hard to reproduce that one. It's the main thing. But there's other things like we want sounds to, and we've been working a lot on this one specifically. Like we want some sounds to stop when the character gets hit or when they hit the opponent early, to improve the clarity of the mix. So like you don't have the perform of the move muddying the sound of the hit, for example. Like those just little details that won't change how the game sounds much, but will raise the clarity so you can really, really hear every time what exactly is happening on your screen as much as possible. And we've been testing some things up, and it's been pretty good so far. It's what I can already say. Other thing, we want to fill in character kits with sounds that might be missing, and we already started doing that in the last few patches. So, for example, in the last patch, I think it was 2 patches ago, we added Atlas dash attack. He didn't have one. Like he was using a basic swipe in his dash attack, but it's such an important move for his kit, and that wasn't sounding quite right. So we went back in, made a new dash attack, tested it. We were happy with it. Develop a whole new system to stop this dash attack early because it wasn't work with our old one, and then we released. And actually, I have a video about this one.
Yeah, let me flip
I think it's
that.
in the next slide.
Yeah. All right.
So this is the new system for stopping the sounds that I showcase in the end, which is really smoothly compared to what we had before. So yeah, we're filling in stuff. Like we added a taunt 2 for clearing in the last patch, and we're gonna keep doing that. And like I said, I'm not gonna promise specific moves or specific characters because it's all gonna change. But we're taking a look on the cast and being like, hey, this is missing, or this could use some sound, this could use a different sound. This is not up to par with the current quality. We're not gonna be reworking full character kits. We talked about that in the past.
Yeah.
There are some early characters that, like, if we could redo everything, we might do it, but that's definitely not a possibility. It would take as much time as doing a new character from scratch, and we can't afford that. But we might change a few sounds here and there in their kits to make then come up to par with the newer ones. Last year, we actually did something pretty cool with Raster in that regard. Like we added new strong attacks for him and other things that just raise his quality bar a little bit from where it was before. And yes, if we make the mix more clear there, it also means we don't hit as much volume in the hits compared to everything else, which is also a certain target goal of mine. Because when listening to the competitive like R2CS, sometimes it feels like the game is only hits, depending on how the string is set up and something. And I think hearing clearly all the performs is also very important. And I want to make sure we balance everything else better, so that can always be the case. Like some characters are great in that regard, but some moves for some characters could use some work on that end. And yet, addressing some of the most common player feedbacks is also on the line. Like I said, I talked a lot with you all in community last year, and there's one feedback in particular that I think everyone can agree. We can go next.
Let me flip past the Edalus one.
Oh,
here we go.
The game has a blunt hit problem. And you don't know what I mean? Let's show the video to showcase what I'm trying to say. Yeah, we have a blunt hit problem. Are those sounds bad? Not really, and that's one of the main issues that we had in the past when trying to change those sounds. Like being full disclosure here, we on the audio team we're also not happy with the blunt sound. So like it's not only because of the feedback, but it's also a very common player feedback that we receive. Those are the worst hits in the game, basically. It doesn't always comes as like, oh, the blunt hits suck, because a lot of people don't have this terminology. But sometimes people are gonna say X character that mostly uses blunt hits feels unsatisfying to hit moves with, or sometimes, or they're gonna say a move from a character that they generally like, but then they're like, oh, this move doesn't sound good. And then when you check it, it's a move that uses blunt hits and so on and so forth. Why is that an issue? Like, why is that such a big issue? And why do I think that just this improvement in particular can take us like a long way forward in reaching like the goals that we have for the audio of the game? Too many characters use these sounds in their kits. Almost everyone does. I don't think there's a single character in the game that does not have any moves that use the blunt hits, because those are basically our standings for like physical hits.
Right.
And you might ask me, oh, so that means you have like too little hits in the game? No, we actually have a lot. We have 35 individual types of hits in the game. And every single type of hit usually has like weak, medium, and heavy, and some of them have a sweet spot variation. So we have more than 100 hits in the game, like individual hits in the game.
Right.
But since blunts are always used in like punches, kicks, and other physical interactions, they end up being used a lot. And some of the characters they mostly use those hits, like Zetterburn, Reno, some of the old ones. And we tried changing those hits in the past, but here's one hard thing about changing these ones. They're not awful. Like they're not some things that we just do anything and they're gonna be replaced, right? Wait, just a minute. They're not, but like we really need to take care to make sure that the hits that we're replacing them with, if we're replacing, I think we are. I can already say this interaction of blunt hits will be gone at some point of this year. But we need to get one that is unequivocally better, and that's a hard thing to do, especially because tastes differ a lot between audio team, the internal team, the closed beta that is helping us test these things, and community as a whole. So we're gonna really, really, really take our time. Like this is not coming anytime soon. It is coming, but not anytime soon. And well, I will share one possible solution that I have in mind for this one. But bear in mind, this can change. Okay. Uh, so one possible solution is we're gonna replace the blunt hits with a new version of those blunt hits, and we're gonna have more physical hits. What does it mean? Zetterburn used his strong attacks. He might focus on might. Once again, this is all subject to change.
Yeah.
He might
It's
have
just
a
an
claw
idea at
hit.
this point. Sorry, go ahead.
Mhm. Yeah, he might have a claw hit for that one. This would make already this feel very different. We are also thinking on having categories of physical hits. So maybe instead of having one that the whole cast has to share for any physical interaction, we can have like punch, kick, slap, heavy, and blunt, for example. Like would be 5 hits. Uh, this is what the plan is currently looking like, but we will see if we need that many, if we need more, and how this pan out. So having more variety will definitely make the game feel more alive. This is also what other platform fighters, like the greatest platform fighter to ever sound, which I don't know if I'm gonna say the name, but
Oh, Slap
it's
City?
recent. Subsidy is great as well.
I'm just kidding. We do love
Combo
Slap
Devils is
City.
also amazing.
All of us love
I
Slap City.
just wanted to say that Combo Devils sound amazing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, screw it. Let's say Smash Ultimate does something
Ah,
similar.
you
to
said
this.
the word. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, obviously we also love Smash, but yeah, their audio design is where you get a lot of inspiration. You're saying?
Sometimes Rivals is a different game. Like that's
For sure.
something really important. Like what works for one platform fighter won't work exactly for other ones, but yes, there are a lot of great things being done, and we definitely get inspiration from what they're doing. And I believe that having different categories of physical hits already makes a lot of difference, especially because in other fighting games they have this kind of things of like having a punch hit, a kick hit, or different physical categories, and it works extremely well. And also, one thing that we want to try striving for is having character-specific hits more often, even if they're physical, even if blunts would cut it. And you can already hear this in practice somewhat with Lorena, which is the next video that we have here. So like those hits, they could have been blunt. Like it wouldn't be a big problem if they were blunt hits, but making them custom made Lorena feel more special. Sorry, made Lorena feel more special because of that. So yeah, that's also a path that we might be uh so like we're gonna be using for future characters, including Slade. Slade will have some custom physical hits as well. Uh so yeah, this is one of the main things that we're gonna be addressing. Like the other ones were a bit more on the air, but this one I definitely wanted to talk about because I feel like a lot of complaints that we've received over time, like last year when I was asking people for feedbacks, like when you really dig down to it, like when I sat down and talked with community, like in an actual conversation, trying to dig down like what the feedback really means, a lot of times it would be like, oh, I hate blunt hits. That was basically like the behind the things. And we gotta share the sentiment, so we want to fix it for the future of the game. And we think you're all gonna like it when we get it done. But like I said, we're gonna take our time. We're gonna make sure it's right, and you can make sure like that whatever version comes to the live game is a version we really believe in. Like we're 100% sure that this is an improvement.
Yeah, and like you said too, this is bringing something from 20% or from 80% to 100% or something. The last 20%. I mean, so it's not easy to just swap anything out because they're not bad, but it really shows how much you guys and Moonsailor all care about about the quality and these little things from
Yeah,
the feedbacks from the community. Yeah.
and it's crazy because like when there are live events and RTCS and things like, we hear a lot of people like praising a lot the current hits in the game, like as one thing they really like.
Yeah.
So like I said, they're not awful or anything. Like they're not bad. They are doing their job pretty well. We just think that they're weaker than other hits that we have in the same game, and we want to raise that and the variety as well. Like we don't want every single character to have a bunch of moves doing blunt hits. Like we want to have more variety on that end, which is definitely gonna help.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, flip to the
let's go for
mixing
the next.
improvements.
Yeah, let's go for the next point. And then we can have like 10 minutes of questions.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so let's go quickly zoom in the last point, which is not a lot to say about this one, but the game is is on the road for console release sometime, not this year, like we already talked about in roadmap.
It's on the official roadmap for post, for future. It doesn't have a year yet, but yeah, we are thinking about it, obviously, in things we're creating.
So we want to do some like improvements in the mix of the game, looking ahead of the moment when we need to do the port for consoles, and also as a general thing. This is pretty quick, a little bit technical, but I wanted to just talk a little bit about it. We want to give you more, like I said, more clarity. We kind of already talked about this in the other sections a little bit, but we want to give some control for players where they might not have it. So, for example, we want to make sure we have a default mix of the game that we're extremely happy and we're not touching. Like, we want to have a final one. It's a blessing that in Rivals of Ether 2 we have the possibility of keep working and improving on a mix for the game after the game has been released. Like usually in indie game development, what it happens is the final mix is the mix you are forced to be happy with because it is the you have to ship the game
because it released,
and that's over.
Yeah,
It's over. You cannot do like changes to that after the game is released. I mean, you technically you can, but like it does most of the times for games that just release and don't have a live service phase, it doesn't even make sense to do those sweeping changes. Like sometimes you're just making the next game instead. So it is kind of a blessing that we can go back and make those changes, but it's also a curse because you always look at the mix of the game and you're like, oh, it could be better. It could be better. And so it's important that we have this cutoff for having a default mix that we really like. And this will open possibilities for us. So like we want to reach that point sometime in this year. And this will open possibilities for other things. So for example, we might have a Steam Deck profile that sounds good on the built-in speakers for the Steam Deck, for example. And this can also sound good in consoles as well, in other consoles. We might want to have a build for tournament builds, like that sounds great for the streams that they use in tournaments.
There's live aspects there too, where it's playing in house for a tournament. Get that bass.
Yeah, we might want to do those things, but like if we don't have a default one that we really like, okay, this is a baseline that we want to do that from, this gets really hard to do. And same thing with music, for example. A lot of people over the years have been like, oh, I wanted more music. Like I want my music in the game to be louder. But then if I just lower everything else to compensate, like I don't hear anything. Like it gets too low for my speakers or my headphones that I'm using. And I want to give players the possibility to raise their music. So like the default settings might be like 80% on the music slider, but and those are like our recommendations to how you should listen to the game for our like best experience possible. But if you want to turn up the music, go ahead, you can do it. You can have more volume there. So yes, this is a more open-ended one, but just wanted to share a little bit of this is something that we'll be working on and addressing some stuff. Yeah, and that's everything. We can now take questions.
Yeah. Aside from, of course, this is things outside of like all of the characters. We still have 4 total characters this year. Yeah, so chat. Sound, audio related questions, please. You can ask other ones, but there's a good chance we just pass over them. Well, I would wait for like a Slade design stream or like something else, you know. So, because we got Mend here today, so ask him juicy audio stuff that only he will know.
Any chance Samurai Claren gets a fiery tipper SFX? She has all those cool sword sounds, but still the plasma tipper. Yes, this is on the works for her.
Nice.
It's definitely something she missed. We thought about keeping the tippers the same one as before, and we had to release with that because we didn't have the time. But once we really saw the finished thing, we're like, yeah, competitive integrity is good, but we really should make the Fury tippers. And we have done custom tippers in the past that went pretty well, like with the Christmas skins. So yeah, that's something that definitely gonna happen.
Yeah. I see one that's we can maybe answer just in general because there's people asking about specific characters, and there's some people just saying, "Hey, will older rivals get more VO work, just like how newer ones seem to be more talkative and verbose?"
Yes. We're definitely working more on VO. Maybe a little less than we did last year. Like we did a bunch of those updates for VO last year. It's not gonna be as much this year, but some of them are definitely coming this year. Maple, for example, we already said it's coming. It's coming in the next patch, so it's one of the first. But we're gonna have that for more characters as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's a pretty good one, I think. What is it like directing VO sessions? It's a learning process. It was pretty hard to learn because every time in the VO session, it's me and Dan basically. And ideally, like if you were in an ideal world, we would have a voice director there to also work with us, someone specialized in this. So I had to work a lot over the years to improve my voice directing skills, and Dan as well. Like Dan got much better at that. And sometimes this means doing things like mimicking the things you want to,
Right.
like if you need something to sound. One thing that I'm expert at, and I'm gonna give a little thing here, is strong attacks. Because we have a very specific implementation of strong attacks where the charge and the release is separate. So we ask Dan to do a little pause between the two so we can cut. And doing it is much faster than explaining, which like yeah! Might have been a bit too loud. Sorry.
It did clip, but that's
microphone.
okay.
Oh no. But yeah, doing that is much faster than
Yeah, try to describe it in
explaining.
words.
Yeah, I tried to lower the gang, but it was still too loud. Sorry. Okay. Let's see if there's a cool one. Do you see any that are cool? I see one. Any plan of doing any custom sounds for Abyskins? Yes, there is a plan for that. Look forward for April patch.
Here's one we've talked about before: footsteps and the like.
If you ask, like, are there plans? Yes, of course. There are plans to implement footsteps. We already talked about that in the past. Will this happen this year? No. I wanted to do it this year, but when we were making the roadmap and looking at everything and the main power that we have available, that just didn't open the opportunity. Cause so yeah, like it doesn't work. It's a feature creep basically. Like once we do that, every character needs to have. If they change their shoes in a skin, we're gonna need to change the footstep. And most of our characters are humanoid, but they're not humans. So this can quickly become a nightmare if not controlled. So I want to do that when we're sure that we can maintain that, and it's not gonna be this year.
Yeah.
There is a really good one. You mentioned that you're wanting to change sounds that keep going to end if the move is cancelled / hit out of. Does late side B, forward special, use this functionality? Like if you don't cancel into the next hit? Yes, it does. And it was really the new system that we made for Atlas Dash Attack was for those two moves, like for Slade's F special and for Atlas Dash Attack, because we really needed to have a very specific way of stopping Dan, because we didn't want it to stop when he entered the recovery window of the move, but we wanted it to stop when it went like for the next one every time. There's a bunch of very specific things about this new system, but we can apply that to every character. So yes, F special for Slade and dash attack for Atlas were the reasons, but we can now apply this for the rest of the cast.
I see a cool one that they said they're surprised to hear the Rivals 1 parry sound when they first played the game, and they wanted to know if we tried out other options or was it like just too beloved to move away from. And I don't know if that was Dan's decision or if you were there for that, but do you have any background on that?
It was before my time.
Okay.
I don't think we used specifically the Rivals 1, at least not pure versions of Rivals 1 sounds. This one might actually be the pure version of
the Slade
R1
one
sound.
Yeah, it did sound like it. Yeah.
Yeah, but that one is not pure. Like there's other things happening there.
Right.
But yeah, it's the parry sound of the game. So that's but yeah, no, I don't know. We try to avoid using a lot of Rivals 1 sounds because believe me, sometimes people are like, "Oh, but this sounded great in Rivals 1." Yes, it sounded great in Rivals 1. Rivals 2 is another game. And we feel this when we have to use Rivals 1 sounds as placeholders. Like, things that sounded amazing in Rivals 1 just don't feel right in Rivals 2. Like, because the whole soundscape is different. Like, the music's now more HD. Like, it's not the chiptune that it was in 1. So when you put a super retro sound, it just sticks out a lot in the soundscape of Rivals 2. And sometimes it's unfortunate because we like some of the sounds in Rivals 1. Like there's some of them that we definitely might have used. A lot of them we would have replaced for the new animations, for the new character, and for our new direction. But some of them we would love to use it because they're very iconic, but they just don't work, unfortunately.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Will the new Maple voices be the same actress as last time? Big fan of her huskier voice. Fun fact behind the scenes. Yes, it's the same voice actress as last time. We never go to a different voice actor for the characters, at least for updates, because they need to be the same. But the reason why it took so long, we actually talked about Maple VO updates last year. I think it was on a dev string even that we first talked about Maple because she was confirmed. She had been recorded at that time. One of the reasons why it took so long is because Maple had a recipe to sound like she does. So once again, I talked about this before in the dev string, and I always find this fact amazing. The briefing for Maple is she's trying to sound like Batman, and she drops down the act when she gets hit strongly. So to really emphasize this, we have some processing in her voice. Processing that were not done by me initially, and the person who did it, it's not in the project anymore. So we had to like he is in the project actually. It's Matt Polati, but he's not like super active anymore. He's in Moonsailor, just not on Rivals. Be more correct. And we had to find out the recipe again, and we did it, and she sounds very good. Like we really didn't want to try to emulate it without being the exact thing,
Right.
because that was such an important part of her voice.
I love that direction for her.
Mm-hmm.
The Batman of the Etherean Forest.
Okay, give us more questions. We still have a few minutes. Actually, we have a couple. Let me see if there's something interesting here. Can we hear the bomb explosion sound for Slade? Yeah, sure. If you if you go like 5 days in the future, we can have it. Joking. Fun fact: the item sounds were placeholders in the trailer. Those were the only ones that were placeholder. Were the bomb, the boomerang, the shuriken. Those are the only ones that we haven't finished by that time. And yes, they're gonna be finished next week, but only those in beta will hear that time. Maybe in the next dev stream we'll be able to hear the final ones for the items.
Maybe the next time we show off Slade, which will probably be a couple weeks. So yeah, I think it should be in there.
Okay, more questions. I think I'm not seeing the questions from Twitch. Let me check if anyone there. Someone said the boomerang one sounded cool. Yeah, it's not gonna be very different from that one. That was like partially done.
Someone asked, it's not exactly Rivals related, but Moonsailor. Someone asked if the OST is going to come to Spotify or anything.
We thought about that in the past. I don't know where the state of that is, but we wanted to do that in the past. I cannot give you a 100% answer here, but
it's not something you're focusing on. Yeah,
I might poke some people around about that.
Yeah. Otherwise,
do you have any?
They can hear it on Bandcamp. I was gonna say you guys can find.
Oh yeah.
Google Bandcamp and Moonsailor, and you can get the OST that's currently there in super high quality.
Someone asked, do you have any favorite character voice work, like a line or a grunt or something? Absa. Absa is my favorite. A lot of them are great, and I could take lines or all of them, but just personally, I love Absa because one of the things that I love about Absa the most is that she was a character that grew during the session, and this was insane. Like, Lorena was also an amazing. We had amazing voice actors that worked amazing in the session, but I will always remember kindly Absa because of how much the character grew in the session. Like we wanted a personality for Absa that was like very stoic, devoid of emotion. And during the session, we learned that this is not the character. Like this might be what we thought the character was, but this just doesn't sound cool. Like this doesn't sound interesting for the game. Like this is not gonna turn out like we were envisioning. And we changed directions during mid-session actually a lot. And May was amazing. Like she went from our first vision to the last vision that we stuck in the session extremely well, and that was one that I always love to think about. And also Galvan is also like Galvan is a human. I don't know if a lot of people might not know that actually. And actually, let me see because I have this in the Galvan Discord.
Nice.
Let me see.
Yeah, Galvan. No, not a human in the lore, but the.
Oh yeah, the Galvan voice.
Yes, the voice. There's a team of people that design creature sounds that they specifically worked with, which I think is really cool, right? Like their whole job is like, we're gonna make monster noises, and they're called Monster Factory, right?
If anyone is in the Galvan Cord and they can send me I know it was pinned in the Galvan Cord, so like if anyone from there can send me a DM with that, I'll appreciate so we can show it. Let's go for our next question while I see if someone can send me. I think Gerudo,
okay,
one of the devs of the mods, is here. Because I'm not finding the message, unfortunately. Actually, let me. Oh yeah. I found it. Okay. Can you share my screen again?
Yes. 1 second. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, it's gonna show everything you're showing just because you said you have Discord open. All right, here we go.
Yes, it's fine.
Well, they can still hear it right now without showing your screen. Is all you want to do is play sound?
Oh yes, yes.
Okay,
So
okay,
that's
you can
good.
play the sound. They can hear it.
Okay, so this is how Govan sounds in game. Right, big monster voice. This is how Govan sounded for me in the session that we made. This is 2 layers of a human making ground sounds on a PVC pipe.
A PVC pipe? That's awesome.
PVC pipe. So yeah, it's Sebastian Croteau from the Monster Factory, and we had the amazing work of James Duhanel on sound design. I also did a little bit afterwards. So yes, it's crazy. It was amazing. I didn't even have the experience during the session to be like, how this gonna sound in the end.
Right, it's something totally new.
Yes, they made an amazing job. So yeah.
Yeah, to answer
Okay.
Darkez's question from Twitch chat, yeah, we probably tagged Monster Factory, but there's like an image that goes with it, and it was those two, the 2 artists that Mend mentioned, because yeah, it was multiple people that worked on it.
Okay, let's take 2 more questions and then we wrap up because we're getting overtime here
Running
already.
over, yeah, that sounds good.
Have stock animal sounds ever considered during development or live animal recordings ethically? Obviously, you know, there's a thing about animals that animals are really bad actors. Like I wanted, like I tried recording a goat for Absa and they just didn't help us. This is a joke, by the way. We didn't try to record that, but we actually did try to use animal sounds mixed in with the human voices at some point in development. Like we tried that for Zetterburn, Reno.
This was early with Zetterburn, I remember, with the lion roars, right?
But the thing is, actually, Loxodont is a great example of this because we also tried. Even with Loxodont, we were still trying that. It's just like one sound of elephants. Like if you think elephants in your mind, you're gonna get one sound, right? But that one sound cannot be enough for the whole kit of the character. And when we go into other vocalizations for elephants that we can have available ethically, and without going, I don't know, traveling somewhere to record an elephant, that would be crazy.
Right.
I mean, it is part of the job of a sound designer sometimes, but I don't think we would have that much time,
Not so much an indie sound designer, but
yeah. But
for our budget.
Yeah, but like you just wouldn't recognize it as an elephant, and you wouldn't have enough sounds to use in. So yeah, we considered it, but ultimately we decided not to. And actually, Govan is interesting. We decided to go to a human voice for him, like hyper processed, of course. Uh, we wanted to do a kaiju sound initially. So kaijus do not, generally speaking, they don't even use animals generally. Like I think one of the kaiju's in one of the latest Godzilla movies was a baritone sax.
That's awesome.
Which is crazy when you think about it. I think the original voice for Godzilla was a double bass and some processing, which is crazy. We wanted to do that, but once again, that would work for his roars. Might have even be like super epic and cool for his roars, but it wouldn't work for all the interactions, like the subtle interactions we need in a fighting game. So that's why we had to take the help of our friends on Monster Factory. Okay.
Final question. Choose wisely.
I'll give you a minute for questions.
There's one about Craig. Here's a few new ones. Yeah, you pick the last one. Whenever you think you see one you like.
Okay. Come on, people. Questions. Let's see if I lost something here. Okay, let's go for the Crag one. That's the best one that we got. Also, bonus one. Is Slade the character sounds tuned to the music? Yes, go back and watch the VOD. We talked a lot about that. Let me see. We did your until his business suit skin. Why doesn't he have any spoken lines in his other skins? The thing about Craig can talk. Like he can speak sentences and words, but he just doesn't want to. He's a chill guy, and that's never gonna change. Like Craig has a lot of voice lines. Like from a character that it's that old, when we consider it, he's pretty good for today's standard. Like we went back to his voice actor to record the business skin, and we didn't have any gameplay lines that were like, oh, we need to record one for this, like we have for other characters. Uh, he had a lot. Like he has a lot of voice lines actually. He just doesn't speak words. Like that's his character, and we want to use his character. So when we had the business suit skin, like we knew we had to give spoken words to Craig because that was the only possibility we would get. He would get to have spoken words because that it's fine if an epic skin is out of character. Like it's a different reality. It's a fantasy.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're done. Thank you, everyone. This was a long stream, but I'm really glad we could share everything with you and answer questions and show a little bit of the process. I hope it has been fun for you all. And yeah, let's do it more in the future. I
Yeah.
think those are great. A lot of people asked for a music one. Maybe in the future we can drag Raphael here to talk about that.
That would be
It'll
cool.
be fun.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on and spending the time and creating this whole slideshow to go over with everyone. I saw a lot of people were excited, so yeah. They're saying thank you. Thank you guys for tuning in. Okay, I'll flip us back to the goodbye screen unless you have anything else to say.
Nope. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank
All
you.
right, bye. Have a good one, everyone.